What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today is Arms Day, so we're going to take a look at the best rolls of this week's weapons, as well as go over some recommendations for next week's weapons. So the first weapon from last week is the Armsday D, and for me, the best roll is going to be number 3 over here, and the reason for that is a combination of perks that I think is going to make this thing work pretty well for an auto rifle. Danger Close, not a great perk, but not a bad perk. Counterbalance, this weapon has increased stability, always useful on a high rate of fire auto rifle. And we've got a choice between high caliber rounds, which gives you stagger and a bit more impact. Fitted stock, increased weapon stability, and I think the best choice, small bore, increased range and stability. So this is my pick. I'd go with number 3 here. I'm going to pick that one up now. And next, we've got the Judith D hand cannon. This is a high impact hand cannon, but none of these rolls are particularly awesome. Number 2, I think, is the best roll, but again, it's just not that exciting. Relentless Tracker, it's nice to get that enhanced radar. Final round, it's only a 7-round magazine, so final round should actually proc for you fairly often. And speed reload, explosive rounds, and oiled frame. I'd probably go with speed reload just because of that 7-round magazine. So for me, it's number 2 all the way. I'm going to pick that one up now. But I'll probably be turning that into legendary marks. All right, next we've got the Ufern HC4, and in my opinion, this is really a decision between the second and third roll. The third roll has Zen Moment to give you a little extra stability, lightweight, Rescue Mag, and Eye of the Storm. I kind of like Rescue Mag here because it's a 7-round magazine. The chance to refill this weapon's magazine when critically wounded could get you out of some sticky situations. Number 2, I think, is probably just a little bit better. Again, because of that small magazine, this one's going to help you out more. Zen Moment, extended mag to give you a larger magazine, and triple tap so that you actually refill that magazine if you can score some consecutive headshots, which should help quite a bit on that tiny little magazine. This is a very cool looking hand cannon, so I'm actually looking forward to picking this one up, and I'm going to pick up number 2 here. Next we have the Ludmila D. I like 2 rolls on this. Number 3 is pretty interesting because it's got full auto. We've got surrounded. This weapon gains bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. So if you like to get into the middle of things, surrounded is going to really help. Full auto just makes weapons easier to use. And then we've got a choice between single point sling, hand loaded, and injection mold. I'll probably stick with hand loaded here. The number 2 on this one isn't too bad either. If you don't feel like full auto is for you, this is probably the pick. We've got Danger Close, Rodeo to help with the recoil a bit, Snapshot, hand loaded again, and injection mold. So I'm actually going to pick up number 3. I like to get full auto weapons. I think they're just easier to use, so I'm going to pick that one up here. All right, the D43. This is a great scout rifle, and it comes in 2 really good rolls. The first roll and the second roll here are both pretty good. So let's take a look at the first one here. We got Perfect Balance, always a great perk. Almost every time you see this, it's always a welcome sight. Spray and Play, increase the reload speed of this weapon. Very nice. Then we got a choice between lightweight and small bore. Small bore gives you more range and more stability at the cost of reload, but I almost always think this one is a good trade-off. So this is a very nice roll. The number 2 roll on this is really good as well. This one's got Hammer Forge to give you a bit more range, which I really like. Full auto, again, just makes the weapon easier to use. And then you've got a choice between hand-laid or Snapshot and hand-laid stock. And with hand-laid stock, you get a decrease in range, but with the increase from Hammer Forge, it's pretty much going to get negated. And then look how high that stability gets. It's very nice, and that should work really well with full auto. So that's going to be my pick. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out. I really like full auto scout rifles. I find them really fun to use. So I'm going to pick that one up. And now let's take a look at next week's order. So the RE45. The RE45 is a good auto rifle. It's just not great. Depending on what rolls we get, it could be useful, but you know, it's never going to be a god gun in PvE or in PvP. The DIS-43 we just picked up. If we get good rolls on it next week, it could be definitely a great weapon. I definitely recommend picking this one up. We got the Hake D. So hand cannons are in a pretty bad spot right now. It would take some pretty epic rolls for this one to be worth it. If you're short on how much space you have or how many Armsday orders you can pick up, I'd probably skip by this one. We have the Ludmila again. So this is a 4-shot burst weapon, good range, good stability. I'd probably pick this one up over some of the other stuff. And the Strongbow. The Strongbow is... it's one of those middle ground shotguns. It's not high enough impact for the Crucible, but it's not fast enough fire rate for PvE. So it's probably just a skip. If you only got 2, I'd probably go with the Ludmila and the DIS-43, and then you can pick up some other ones depending on how much they interest you. So that's going to do it, guys. Not a bad arms week. I'm pretty happy with the 2 full auto rolls that I got. I always enjoy getting full auto weapons. They're just easier to use, both in PvE and in PvP to me. A lot of my mind space gets taken up by timing these shots correctly to make them headshots. With a full auto weapon, that kind of gets erased. You spend much more of your time thinking about your own positioning, and you can just keep that reticle on the opponent's head and firing, just holding down the trigger instead of timing that trigger press. So I really like full auto on any weapon I can get it on. And I was pretty happy to see 2 weapons roll with it this week. So those are my recommendations, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.